What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another North Shore 9 postgame show powered by Primanti. I'm Jim. With me tonight is Neil, and we've got yet another Pirates loss to discuss. Neil, how are we doing tonight?
The Pirates put me in a bit of a bad mood, but I'm okay.
All right. Well, it's good to hear that you're okay. Yeah. It was back-to-back, I think uninspiring is a good way to put it. Uninspiring offensive performances by this team so far in St. Louis. Last night, they get shut out on 4 hits. Tonight, they lose 3-1. They do get 8 hits, so they actually out-hit St. Louis today. But 1 for 8 with runners in scoring position, and the 1 hit that they did get, Mike Rebello didn't send the guy home, and he ended up getting stranded at third. So we'll discuss all that. I think there's a few pivotal moments of today's game to kind of dive into. But before we do that, BetOnline, it's the world's most trusted betting platform and your number one source for everything football. BetOnline is every stat, every matchup, and even live odds and spreads to bet on during the games. Think you know your stuff. Get in on the $200,000 mega contest and pick 5 games against the spread every week for your chance at weekly prizes and a share of $200,000. When the game is over, head on over to our online casino and get in on a game of blackjack or poker, or unwind with one of our over 150 slot games. Head to the website today. BetOnline, the game starts here. All right. Let's start at the beginning. Bailey Falter on the mound, and he just did Bailey Falter things. Like we talk about him, right? We've been talking about him all season long because we do these shows all season long, but he's just like quietly put together a really, really good year for a 5th starter. Like, we're not saying this is some elite season Bailey Falter is having, but for like who he is, he's your number 5 starter. You can't ask for much more than this. And he did the same thing again today. 5 2/3 innings, 4 hits, 2 runs. Just consistently going out there and giving the team a chance to win.
Yeah, I've been like over the entire year, I've kind of been like holding back Bailey Falter praise because I think, like everyone else, we've just kind of been waiting for the blow up to happen, and it hasn't happened. You know, like we're 2 weeks away from the end of the season, and he's just been a reliable starter for us. It's crazy to think about. And he might be a 3-WAR pitcher when this is all said and done. I haven't looked at his stats yet, but I mean, no, he was good tonight. He's been good all season. I can't believe I'm saying it.
Yeah, I mean, 4.15 ERA, like Bucko Mike points out there. And he's thrown now 134 innings. So,
yeah,
he's gonna pitch 145 innings this year and have a low 4 ERA. And like I said, when it comes to a number 5 starter, you can't ask for much more than that. That's basically every major league team would take that performance.
Yeah, I mean,
5 starter.
As I checked in, I clearly have lost track of it. He's going to be like a 2-WAR pitcher, but even then, a 2-WAR 5th starter. You know, we were wondering where Oviedo was going to be replaced, I think, coming into the season, and he's just kind of replaced Oviedo's production.
Yeah, I mean, he's done a pretty good job. So,
yeah.
I've got to bring Paul's comment on this. I love this. He hates you, Neil. He hates you so much.
I love it whenever Paul shows up in chat.
No, but I mean, as far as Lance Lynn on the mound for the Cardinals too, and just another guy who, like, an ageless wonder. Dude's got to be like 65, 66 years old by this point, and he just consistently putting up solid years still. 3.84 ERA, 6 innings, 1 run. The 1 run the Pirates did score Surprise, surprise. Bryan De La
Yeah.
Cruz, solo homer in the second inning. We spent
Could
a
not
lot
believe
of
my
time.
eyes.
Yeah, we've spent a lot of time recently bashing Bryan De La Cruz. I think DiNardo sent out something a couple days ago. I sent something out yesterday. I've seen you've put out some stuff about Bryan De La Cruz. It has not been pretty for Bryan De La Cruz in his Pittsburgh Pirates tenure. But hey, second home run as a Pirate hit tonight, and gave the Pirates a 1-0 early lead.
Yeah, I thought he was he's been. I think he's basically old school in me. I feel like he's not been hitting well enough to be admiring home runs like he was tonight.
He did crush it. Like, let's just
he did
crushed that ball.
He did. That might be the old school in me, where it's like, all right, get around the bases and get into dugout because like, but no, that was a really good home run. I think that topped the bat speed charts tonight too.
Okay.
Like he swung really nice, and it was a tank. It was an absolute tank right off the bat.
Yeah, you're right. Actually, 81.5 mile per hour bat speed. That was 0.1 tick higher than O'Neal Cruz in his pinch hit at bat. So yeah, fastest swinger today. He gets that distinction, and he did it on a ball that he made contact and the ball went far. But
there are reasons like why the Pirates got him, like the bat speed. Like they love themselves a guy who swings the bat faster, like the Tellez, like a Cruz. It really is just like he keeps hitting it on the ground. I feel like he's grounds out so often.
It's a lot of grounders.
Yeah, and it was a problem with the Marlins, problem with the Pirates, but he got a hold of one tonight, and it was really cool.
Yeah, nice homer. It's good to see. Quick refresher, that brings his numbers up as a Pittsburgh Pirate to 206 batting average and a 508 OPS. So he's out of the 400s now, at least when it comes to his Pittsburgh Pirates OPS. Yeah, his two homers, Brian McElhaney on Twitter kind of made a point of it. His first homer came like when the Pirates were losing 8-0 or something like that. Like it was just a completely meaningless homer. And then he finally hits his second homer as a Pirate today, which is the first game the Pirates played after being mathematically eliminated from the playoffs last night. So two pretty much completely meaningless homers from the guy that you was your premier deadline power acquisition.
Yeah, no, it's been a deadline to forget. I think it's fair to say. Unless, I mean, to be fair, the guy I was most interested in did pretty well today from the deadline. I don't know if you want to segue into that, but Nick York.
Yeah, let's go ahead and segue there. Actually, before we get to York, let's get to Cardinals tie the game up in the third inning. Michael Ciani double off of Brian Reynolds' glove. Just kind of another example of maybe I've been seeing a lot. I feel like we started this chatter a long time ago. It wasn't necessarily me who started it, but I've thrown out the idea for a bit that Brian Reynolds should be this team's first baseman of the future. And I feel like it's gaining a little bit of steam now, kind of across the fan base. So something to just watch there. But yeah, Ciani doubles to lead off the inning. Lucan Baker then with a triple to score him. Cardinals tie up the game. And then Jordan Walker puts the Cardinals ahead in the fourth inning with a solo homer. He's been having a rough go of it in his young career. But crushes a ball off of Falter.
That was like the only really disappointing thing about Falter tonight is that it was their absolute scrubs who did all the damage. Who are we talking about?
Yeah.
Jordan Walker, who's been terrible. Like Jordan Walker has been sent up and down from AAA. Lucan Baker and Michael Ciani, like these are not the type of guys you want punishing you. Like we expect that from Arenado, we expect it from Wynn or Goldschmidt or Donovan. I'm really surprised we let these guys be the reason we lost. And to be fair, it's not Bailey Falter's fault. Like if all intents and purposes, Bailey Falter did his job.
Yeah.
But it's not the guys you want to see doing the damage.
No, I agree. Like you mentioned, Ciani, Baker, Walker, all guys pretty much struggling. They're the ones who did the damage early on here tonight. And ultimately allowed the Cardinals to take this one. Now let's talk about Nick York. So in the 5th inning, Pirates down 2-1. Nick York gets his first major league hit, a single to center field. Michael A. Taylor walked, so the Pirates were getting some guys on base here. Rally killed with a Nick Gonzalez double play.
Yeah.
Then we head to the 7th, where Nick York gets another hit. So he has second hit of the game. O'Neal Cruz comes up to pinch hit in a pretty big at bat against Fernandez, righty lefty matchup, and just not a great at bat from O'Neal Cruz. I don't know if he wasn't necessarily ready for it. He's been a little injured lately. That's why he didn't start yesterday. It's why he didn't start today. But gosh, you like that's the situation of the game where like you need something big to happen. It just didn't happen.
Yeah. No, it's hard to get on Cruz because, like, the ankle's been bothering him. He's sat the last couple of days. He hasn't seen live pitching. I don't hate going to him there. Like, play your best players. But also, I think Cruz just isn't very good at pinch hitting. I don't think his career numbers are very good, which it's kind of ironic because I remember one of the reasons they kept him down, like, all those years ago, was to work on. One of the reasons they cited was to work on pinch hitting. So clearly,
you're right.
Clearly, it hasn't been working.
I almost completely forgot about that when they were just making up stupid reasons to keep him in the minors. You're right. One of the reasons that they kept him down was so that he could become a better pinch hitter. That's so dumb. But to your point, he is 0 for 8 pinch hitting this season. So yeah, he has not done well. 0 for 8 with 5 strikeouts now. He's like the opposite of Joshua Palacios. He's
you can only
good.
Let Joshua Palacios pinch hit and never let O'Neal Cruz pinch hit.
That's what we need. That's what we need. Palacios can pinch hit. Cruz can just regular hit going forward. How about we do that? So that ended the threat there in the 7th inning. But then the Pirates also in the 8th made some noise. Like the chances were there for the Pirates to come back in this one. It was still 2-1. Nick Gonzalez leads off the 8th with a double. Bryan Reynolds, this is the Pirates' lone hit with runners in scoring position. He singles to left. Mike Rabello holds Nick Gonzalez at third. We can talk about this for a little bit if we want to. But he holds Nick Gonzalez at third, first and third, nobody out with 3, 4, 5 coming up. So you feel good. You're like, all right, we should get one here. We should get one here. But Joey Bart flies out, shallow left field. Gonzalez holds at third, doesn't tag up. Reynolds does advance to second on the throw. So now you've got second, third, one out. But then Andrew McCutchen strikes out. Isaiah Kiner-Falefa pinch hits for Rowdy Tellez, and he grounds out. So your best chance to do some damage and tie the game late, they failed miserably. So first off, should they have just sent Gonzalez? What do you think?
On the flyout from Bart, no, but I think Henry Davis in chat here brings up a good point. I thought he was into third easily, and they held him up. And so I think at some point, send him. You got to get runs on the board. The offense is struggling. Just send him. If he gets thrown out, he gets thrown out, and it doesn't matter. But I think it's the quintessential Pirates just in a season where you have runners in scoring position. 3, 4, and 5 are up in the order, and you score 0 runs from it. Like, if you wanted to define the Pirates season, right there, that would be it. Just not getting the job done and continually shooting ourselves in the foot.
Yeah, it's a good point. And you had the guys coming up that you want up in that situation. Like, you already got the hit from Bryan Reynolds. Joey Bart, you can say what you want about him, but like, he's this team's top 3 or 4 hitter right now. Like, you want Joey Bart batting, especially against a lefty late in a game like that. Like, that's a perfect Joey Bart spot. Andrew McCutchen against a lefty late in a game like that, perfect catch spot. Isaiah Kiner Fluffy, you like the matchup against the lefty there too. So yeah, it didn't work out. It lined up the way you wanted it to, but I think my problem with Rebello, and this is kind of more big picture, it's hard to. There's so many problems with this team, and the third base coach is not in the top 30 of them.
No,
but I do feel like at times he just isn't aggressive enough. And when you're dealing with an offense like this, where they just can't make stuff happen, sometimes you have to make stuff happen by pushing the limits on the base paths.
See,
I don't say like don't be running with like reckless abandon, but you need to be leaning towards the aggressive side of things.
Yeah, it's interesting on 2 points there because I feel like whenever Rebel is brought up, it's actually because he's too aggressive. Like I think a lot of times, like we got really, really mad at him when he just kept sending people on contact from third and getting thrown out at home. Like I remember that being like a really huge point of contention early in the year.
Yeah, and that's not a Rebello thing though. Like that's a call from the dugout. So
I think I vaguely remember like 2 or 3 instances, like in April, where people were really upset with Rebello continually sending people home, and getting them thrown out. No, it's a team wide thing. Where like, like going back to last year, like we were so aggressive on the base paths for the entire month of April. And then it seemed like G1 Bay got thrown out 3 times or something. And after that, we said no more. Like we're not going to be aggressive. We're not going to run the bases. And honestly, Brian Reynolds is our most aggressive base runner. Like he takes extra bags, but it's weird. And yeah, I just go for it. Like again, if you get thrown out, so what? Like you're not losing anything. If this was like a tight playoff push against like our division rival, I would maybe understand the hesitation, but like, no, just send them.
Or if you have this juggernaut offense, where like you feel very confident in something. Like as soon as he held him up at third, we were in the Discord talking about the game and the game chat, which plug for the Discord. If you're not in the Discord, join the Discord, link in the description. But as soon as he held him up, it was like, we're going to strand this guy on third, aren't we?
Yeah.
And it's exactly what happened. Yeah, like I said, it's frustrating. I feel like sometimes he's like over aggressive, but then there's other times where he's not aggressive at all. You got to kind of find this happy medium. But I will always, especially when you have a struggling offensive team, like lean towards the aggressive side of things.
Yeah, like the Pirates should be small balling it as much as possible. When you don't hit for power, like we don't, steal more bags, be aggressive on the base pass. Like you got to steal runs. You got to make your own luck at some point.
Well, it's making your own luck, but it's just putting pressure on the other team, right? Like forcing them to make a play.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like Nick says here, like you could always. How many times have we seen the Pirates just throw the ball home and it's 15 feet off the line? Like that happens all the time, right?
It happened tonight. Like Billy Cook. I mean, I'm not going to blame Billy Cook because like he has a good arm, but like he threw it home and it was offline, and the Cardinals easily scored the third run. Like, it's a shame.
Yeah, and it's a shame now because they didn't. If this offense were competent, then we wouldn't even be talking about this because they would have scored the run eventually. But this just happens far too often. I am curious because we watch a lot of Pirates baseball, and I watch way more Pirates baseball than any other team. And I know the Pirates aren't the only team that like strands runners at third with no outs. I am curious on like the percentages. Like how often does that runner not score? Like how do we stack up in Major League Baseball when it comes to stranding runners on third with nobody outs? I would love to just know that stat.
I would too. I mean, I remember like when like at the beginning of the year where we were putting all the runners on base, but none of them were scoring. And so we were up there with the Dodgers and the Braves in terms of how many base runners were getting on. I imagine the more people you get on, the more you strand them, but I don't know. I'm assuming by percentage wise, we have to strand a lot of runners. Our hitting in runners in scoring position is abysmal all year.
I feel like every time I've hopped on a post-game show for the past 2 weeks, I look at the box score and it says runners in scoring position, 1 for 8, runners in scoring position, 1 for 12, runners in scoring position, 1 for 9. Like it's just like over and over and over again.
Yeah. And it's like the worst part about this team is that, like, I think probably like in the tanking years, like the supposed tanking years, and maybe this counts too, but like, those teams were really, really bad, but at least they found like different creative ways to lose. This team just like loses the same way every single night, and it's exhausting to watch. Like, it is exhausting to watch us continually die on offense with so many runners on, lose a close game that the pitching kept you in. It's so tiring.
Yeah. I mean, I know this isn't going to correlate exactly because it depends on what kind of hit we're dealing with, but the Pirates, when there are runners in scoring position, are batting .231 on the season. That is 25th in Major League Baseball,
Sounds
and
about right.
13th in the National League. When it comes to just overall hitting, like weighted runs created plus, so when you count OBP, slugging, all that, they're 26th in Major League Baseball, 13th in the National League. So that kind of just lines up with their offense in general, though. I mean, if you look at their offense and you just compare it across the league, they're probably the 26th or 27th best offense, and they're probably 13th in the National League. So it kind of just is what it is, I guess. They're the 25th, 26th, 27th best offense.
They're very consistent. I'll give them that.
There you go. So Pirates don't score in the top of the eighth. The Cardinals do tack on an insurance run in the bottom of the eighth. I am curious to see if this run will change to an unearned run, though. Dennis Santana was pitching, and Dennis Santana, coming into today, hadn't given up a run since August 6th. He's been on this crazy good streak. He gives up a run today, and it all started with Mason Wynn reaching on what the official scorer called an infield single. It was a play that Isaiah Kiner-Falefa at third base probably should have made. It's rolled a single, so therefore, when Wynn comes around to score, it does count as an earned run. So I am kind of just curious, like, just for, I mean, it doesn't matter, the run still counted, but will Dennis Santana's streak of 0 earned runs continue or not? I could see that play getting overturned at some point here soon.
It could. It should, just because he doesn't deserve to give up that run. Because I mean, he walked someone after that, but he looked he looked good again tonight. Yeah. So it sucks that the streak ended, but at least it's not his fault this time, so we don't have to worry about another reliever regressing. Like, he still looks good.
Yeah, no, I mean, he's been when it comes to DFA'd pitchers that Charrington's just plucked to try to fill holes in this bullpen. He's been one of the best ones that he's gotten.
Besides last year, Baraki, I think last year Baraki's probably the only one that tops him.
Yeah, Baraki was another scrap heap pull, but yeah, both very good. So Cardinals add on a run there in the 8th, but then in the 9th, Nick York, his 3rd hit of the game. So I guess now's our time to talk about Nick York. He gets stranded, but a 3-for-4 performance today. This was his 2nd start of his major league career. All 3 hits were singles, but yeah, it's nice to see him get his first major league hit. He was like, he looked good at the plate. Like, he was not overmatched. He was good at bats, put the barrel to the baseball, hit the ball hard. Got to be happy with what we've seen out of Nick York in his first couple of games. I know you're not really going to learn too much from people in September and their performances, but I want to see as much Nick York as possible down the stretch.
Yeah, every day. Again, like I said before, I want Billy Cook in the lineup every day, and I want Nick York playing every day. It kind of reminds he does kind of remind me of his swing and how he hits it. It kind of reminds me of Nick Gonzalez. I'm not gonna lie. It's very Nick Gonzalez-like, but I don't think he has the whiffs that Nick Gonzalez had. So
yeah, better bat to ball
I want to
skills.
see.
Yeah,
what?
Better bat to ball skills, I would say.
Yeah, I think so. So I think not a whole lot of power. I think it's going to be a whole lot of spray and line drives, but that'll be a nice, refreshing change of pace. I think. He looked very good tonight. I didn't get to see him last night in his debut, but tonight
Yeah.
I was very impressed.
Yep. No, it was. I mean, he looked good. It was just good at bats. Didn't look overpowered. I mean, the third hit was off Ryan Helsley, so it's not like it was off some scrub. Like he got a nice hit off of one of the best closers in baseball. So yeah, nice start to the career. 3-4-7, I want to say is his line so far. But yeah, keep putting him out there, keep giving him at bats, play him in multiple positions. Let's see what we've got in this kid. Because the Pirates need somebody to hit. Like they just
Yes,
need
they do.
someone
Yeah.
with some sort of offensive prowess. And even if the power isn't there, maybe with York, but like if he can flash the hit tool like he's been flashing in AAA, he can be extremely useful.
My standards are so low that I just need competent hitters. Like, yeah, like that's literally all we need. We just need guys in the lineup that can hit and not make you want to jump off a bridge. Like that is like the bar. And so like I do like I do like the adjustments that he's made coming from the Red Sox. Like I think he's done a good job like elevating the ball more. His ground ball rate has dipped in AAA. Like I think there are things to like about him, and I like that he's able to play outfield too.
Mm-hmm.
That's pretty good. Like that would be a very useful player, even if he doesn't set the world on fire. And he's probably not a good thing. He's probably our most exciting young hitter in the system. That's proximate. That's
Yeah.
close.
No, I agree with that. So I don't think there's anybody really all that close.
No.
I mean, I guess you could say Connor Griffin, but he's so far away that it doesn't matter. Yeah, I mean that's pretty much it though. 3-1 loss. Pretty much recapped everything. Carmen Majinski did look good tonight coming in for Falter. He pitched an inning and a third scoreless, 2 strikeouts. I feel like he's looked a lot better lately in the last month or so. So just someone who I feel like going into this year, I was a little shaky on him. I was like, I'm not really sure if this is a guy we can rely on. I know he had a pretty good rookie season, but it kind of like you didn't love the peripherals and kind of the underlying numbers. And I think this year is just showing you know what, there's some here. There's some here with Carmen.
There is. It seems like I wouldn't, all these scrap heap guys, like, I think back to the Huntington years, and it's hard to rely on these guys, like, year in and year out. Like, I just feel like, you got to find a Joe Blanton every year, or like a John Mark. Am I saying John Mark Gomez? Am I thinking
John Mark Gomez?
Yeah. I got to keep finding those guys on a yearly basis because they're not going to stay the same guys. So, yeah, you might have a Carmen Majinski regression, but no, he's looked good this past month since he came back from injury. I hope he's healthy next year. I think injuries have really derailed this season.
Yeah, I agree. All right. Well, 4-game series. Pirates have dropped the first 2 games. They've scored a total of 1 run between the 2 games. Their starting pitching has been bad. Great start by Skeens last night. Good start by Falter today. It's hard to win when you aren't scoring runs, and that's what they're doing right now. So they will look to put up more than 1 run tomorrow against Sonny Gray. So best of luck to them. The Pirates have not announced a starter as of now, but I would anticipate
says it's Luis Ortiz. So take that for what you will.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to be Ortiz. I think Ortiz is going to be starting on Thursday. So I think tomorrow is going to be a bullpen game. But we'll wait for confirmation there. I could imagine Joey Wentz probably being the bulk guy again, but yeah, that's what I would anticipate tomorrow.
Hopefully we win.
Fun stuff. Gonna have to hit the ball a little bit and rely on Joey Wentz.
Can't wait to talk about it.
There you go. You and Tyler tomorrow. Get to talk about
me and Tyler tomorrow.
All right. Well, guys, thank you all and everybody who's in the chat. Thank you if you're watching live on Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, wherever you're at. We appreciate you guys. Like the video if you haven't already. Subscribe to the page. Hit the bell so you get notified every time we go live. When we do win, we give away free food, which is pretty nice. So, yeah, hit the bell so that way you don't miss any free food when the Pirates win. If you're listening or watching this after the fact, we appreciate you too. Drop a like, leave a review, leave a comment, all that stuff. It helps out. So that's all I got tonight. Pirates lose 3-1.
3-1.
We'll be back at it tomorrow.
See you guys later.
Hey, you all. Thank you for watching. I know we try to provide the most entertaining content that we can, and we'd love to spread it to as many people as possible. So I know it doesn't seem like a lot, but if you could take the 5 seconds to like this video and subscribe to the page, it helps out so much more than you know. Thank you, and let's go Bucks.